often ask, did they love me? Did the narcissist love me? Do they love me? We ask, and when people say no, it's so hard for us to wrap our heads around that because of how beautiful and kind and gentle that they are at times. I mean, to the extent that one is loving is usually to the same extent that one is unloving. It's usually a pretty good balance. And it's also hard to wrap our heads around the idea that people can be this fun and loving and yet be cruel to the bone without some sort of explanation, because it just isn't something that we could ever fathom being. If we were ever to be mean to someone, we would be buried up to our necks with guilt. So we're trying to make sense of it. In our minds, if someone has the capacity to be kind and loving, then deep down, that must be who they are. You know, it's in there, right? Somewhere deep, it's in there. And when they're acting up, well, it must be something that they're going through, something that they can't help. So your partner comes home from work one day, does not bother to acknowledge you, doesn't say hello, doesn't smile. In fact, you can see that hard, stern look on their face, one that you're so accustomed to seeing. You know that look, the anger, the hatred all over their face. And you don't dare say anything at all because, well, you know why. You're walking on eggshells now. And you know better than to ask, because that might just trigger something and the gun will go off. So now it's off to the pantry you go. If I make them a really nice dinner, then perhaps they'll snap out of it. See, we're back in survival mode when we do this. Or if I go out and mow the lawn, that'll make them better. They'll appreciate you now, maybe. But they won't. When it comes to narcissists, the cost of being loved is transitional. I will give you more of my time and energy, even though I myself had a rough day and exhausted. That's us here. We're as transitional as they are, well, in order to survive, right? So I'll give you more of my time and energy in exchange so that you don't start putting me down, that you don't go on a rampage and attack me. But you've been through hardships, hard days, you've been through trauma, right? You've been hurt growing up and treated unkindly and made to feel as though you didn't matter, right? So how come you're not wanting to slap your partner silly when you have a bad day? How come you don't feel like attacking him or her with violent, hurtful words when he or she is just going about their days? It's simple, because within you is love, and with love comes compassion. The way that the narcissist speaks to you, you could never speak to a stranger like that, because that love is inside of you. It's part of who you are. So when you ask, does the narcissist love me? My answer to you is this. Narcissists, particularly those with narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, often have difficulty with love, empathy, and compassion. And this is because of certain differences in their brain structure and functioning, particularly in areas related to emotional regulation and empathy. So here's a breakdown of the brain processes and structures that might be implicated in their behavior. We have reduced activity in the empathy centers. Research has shown that individuals with narcissistic traits may have lower activity in the anterior insula and anterior cingulate cortex, which are brain regions crucial for empathy and emotional awareness. The anterior insula is responsible for recognizing and processing emotions, including understanding how others feel. Now, the anterior cingulate cortex helps with emotional regulation and understanding others' emotional states. So reduced activity in these areas means narcissists struggle to feel or understand others' emotions, making them appear cold, unfeeling, or indifferent. Then you also have impaired mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are responsible for helping individuals mirror the emotions and actions of others, contributing to emotional resonance and empathy. In narcissistic individuals, these neurons might not function optimally, which means that they might struggle to emotionally connect with others. While they might recognize facial expressions or emotional cues, they are not going to experience the same emotional resonance that someone with healthy empathy does. leading to a lack of compassion. Next, let's take a look at the overactive reward system. The nucleus accumbens, which is part of the brain's reward system, is often hyperactive in narcissists. Narcissists obtain satisfaction primarily from admiration, power, and validation. Now, when these needs are met, their brain rewards them with a sense of pleasure, reinforcing self centered behaviors. They focus more on how situations benefit them rather than how they impact others, leading to a lack of compassion for those around them. Altered emotional regulation. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for regulating emotions, making decisions, and controlling impulsive behaviors. Narcissists can have dysfunction or underactivity in the prefrontal cortex, leading to poor emotional regulation. And as a result, they might react impulsively or with disproportionate emotions like anger, defensiveness, or withdrawal, rather than responding with empathy, understanding, or compassion. They have low levels of oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone linked to bonding, trust, and emotional connection. Narcissists often have lower levels of oxytocin or a reduced ability to respond to it. And this could contribute to their difficulty in forming deep emotional connections, feeling affection, or understanding others' emotional needs. Oxytocin plays a big role in human compassion, and without it, narcissists often struggle to form meaningful, empathetic relationships. Pathological self centeredness. The default mode network, DMN, which is active when we think about ourselves, is often overactive in narcissistic individuals. A dominant sense of self rooted in an overactive DMN can lead to narcissistic individuals being preoccupied with their own thoughts and their own feelings, often making them dismissive or unaware of others' needs. And this self absorption leaves little room for the kind of emotional connection or empathy required for love and for compassion. So, in conclusion, the lack of love and compassion in narcissists can stem from a combination of biological, neurological, and psychological factors that affect their ability to emotionally connect with others. Their brain structures related to empathy, emotional regulation, and social bonding function differently, contributing to their self centeredness and lack of genuine emotional responsiveness to others. But it's important to note, though, that while these brain differences can help explain the behavior, narcissism also involves learned behaviors from early life experiences, which can further shape the person's personality and relationships. They have learned to become master manipulators to get what they want. So, yes, they can be kind and quote unquote loving. They are attached to you. They need you. They need you because they need energy. They need for you to tell them how wonderful that they are. They need you to make dinners or fix cars or whatever it is that they bring to the table. They want you. They want your body. They want your life. They want your house. They want your vehicle. They want perhaps the stature that you represent. Yet, if someone were to come along with some offers and the same offers, a house, a vehicle, sex, stature, and it would be someone that they can easily control, they would trade you off at the blink of an eye. They wouldn't even think twice. So, love, think about it. Think about all the times that you've asked them for something simple yet important to you, like going for a walk or spending quality time together, and how time and time again that didn't matter to them. Now, if that were you and your partner asked you for something that you knew was important to them, how many times would they have to ask you? But when you asked, did they jump on it? Did you matter? Did you matter when you let them know that name calling was too hurtful for you in an argument? When you splurged on their birthday, invited people, bought gifts to acknowledge them, and your birthday came around, did they acknowledge you? Did you matter to them then? When they borrowed your vehicle and you went without in order to appease them, and all you asked is that they kept the vehicle clean, did they? Did you matter then? You matter when they need something. And is that what you want to settle for? Accepting a few peanuts when they want something from you? And this is exactly what's happening. When they're being nice, pay attention. And it can be really subtle sometimes. Sometimes you think, no, they're being nice and they're not asking for anything. Pay attention. Appearances can be deceiving because sometimes all they want is energy from you, your energy. You're thinking that they're being loving because it looks to you as though they're enjoying your company. But that's an illusion. What they're after is simple attention, to be acknowledged, to feel from you that you see them as great, as godly, that you're impressed, and that validates them. And that right there is codependency at its best, because narcissists are extremely codependent. They need you in order to feel good about themselves. Just like you as a codependent need them to validate you. The only difference is in the way that you go about doing it. You will be nice. It won't be a manipulation tactic. It's going to be authentic. They will be cruel to get what they want, even if they're being nice, because the niceness is manipulative. You do it out of love. They do it out of selfishness, out of self-serving. And the other difference between the narcissist and the codependent is that the narcissist matters to no one but self, and the codependent matters to everyone else but self. Let that sink in. They need to learn to sometimes put others in priority, while you need to learn to place the priority on self at times. So the best that we can say about the love from a narcissist would be the word infatuation. Infatuation is a strong attraction towards a person that one doesn't know very well or at all. It's a fixation towards someone and a fantasy about the perfect person. A fantasy about what they wish that person to be or the relationship to be. When someone is infatuated, they usually haven't had any profound conversations with the person. They only know what they seek, the surface stuff, be it in person or on social media, for example. It's all surface. A person who is infatuated is obsessed. They think about that person all the time. They see the person as the perfect partner, even though they know nothing about them. I mean, we've all been there at some point in our life, right? Even as kids, infatuated. It's an illusion. And when a person is infatuated rather than in love, they feel disappointed when their expectations aren't met. Now, sure, of course, infatuation can turn into love, but with the narcissist, it just can't. So when their expectations are not met, what they do is they force the partner to live up to the fantasies that they have about them, or they try to anyway, meaning they control them. And they remain obsessed with keeping that illusion up. So contemplate all of this. Remember, they need you, yes, for sure. But love, Wayne Dyer used to say, you can't squeeze lemon out of an orange. Narcissists, they just don't have that love within them. So I'm hoping that this has clarified things a bit. And if it does resonate, please click that like button, because it really helps with the algorithms. And then consider subscribing. Thank you. So thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye for now.